Attachment styles refer to the emotional bonds individuals form with others, often shaped by early caregiving experiences. Hello, my name is Remy, and I am an unburdening and identity restoration specialist based in the United Kingdom. So today, ladies, I'm going to be talking to us about the different forms of attachment styles, and we normally speak about 4 attachment styles. So we have the secure attachment, anxious preoccupied attachment, dismissive avoidant attachment, fearful avoidant attachment. Now, as I said from the definition, when it comes to attachments, it's often shaped by how you were brought up. That's the simple way to explain it. So how you attach to people has a lot to do with your upbringing. If you were brought up in a family where a lot of attention was given to you, how you attach to people will differ from someone who was brought up in an environment where a lot of neglect occurred. Now, today I'm going to be explaining the 4 different types and styles of attachment and how parental upbringing could have actually played a role in this person becoming this. Now, let's start with secure attachment. A person with the secure attachment style will find it comfortable to get intimate with people, doesn't struggle with independence, will easily form relationships, trust in others, and feel secure in their own worth. So these are people who you find and you're like, you're so friendly, you don't even have issues with trusting people, she's so kind. Like, those people will call a free spirit, like nothing bothers them. Everybody is saying, oh, that guy might hurt you, and she's like, no, it's all right. Risk is part of life. Those kind of people that we meet. These are the people that we can say have a secure attachment style. Now, people like this grew up with parents who were very responsive with caregiving during their childhood. So they had parents who were very present, who were emotionally, financially present. They didn't have to seek validation from external sources. So this plays a huge role. So if you are a parent, raising your children, giving them attention will actually play a huge role in whether or not they are in secure relationships as adults, or whether they are people who are having trust issues. So let's pay attention to this. The second style of attachment I'm going to be talking about today is the anxious preoccupied attachment. This person will seek high levels of closeness and reassurance. They fear abandonment, may worry about the status of their relationships. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this. So you want to be close to people in your relationships. And when I'm talking about relationships, I'm not just limiting this to romantic relationships. I'm talking to friends, cousins, family, general relationships, okay? This person in an anxious, preoccupied attachment, who deals with this kind of attachment, is somebody who wants to be close to people, who wants to be constantly reassured that, you know what, you're a good person, I'm not leaving you anytime soon, I really care about you. But they are scared that at some point you're just going to stop receiving their calls, stop talking to them. They're constantly worrying, so where are we? What is the status of this relationship? Are we still friends? If you're not calling as much as you used to, they begin to doubt. They're scared that at some point you're going to dump them. Now, people like this, you'll find that from their childhood, inconsistent caregiving was something that they would get. So sometimes their parents were there, sometimes they weren't. So sometimes they will feel like, oh, my parents or my guardians, pay attention to me, they listen to me. And then another time they have an issue and then they go to their parents or their guardians, voila. They are like, get out, I'm too busy, I don't have time for you. So it played with their emotions growing up. So they weren't sure whether they were going to receive the happy side of their parents or the sad side of their parents. Oftentimes with people like this, their parents were very unstable with their emotions. They didn't know how to be emotionally present parents constantly, and this in turn affected how they were raising their children. So you'll find this, that this child now grows up into an adult who they will classify as someone who is an anxious, preoccupied attacher, doesn't know how to attach properly, constantly anxious, wants the closeness, but is scared that they'll be dumped halfway. The third attachment style is what we call the dismissive avoidant attachment. This person values independence. They may appear emotionally distant, difficulty with emotional intimacy and expressing needs. So this person loves the fact that, listen, I don't depend on anybody. I don't need anybody to validate me, okay? They may appear like people, when you say they don't have emotion. So regardless of what you do, they're not crying, they're not smiling. Everybody's excited about something and they're like, tough, okay? They struggle with emotional intimacy and expressing their needs. They don't know how to ask for help. They don't know how to say they're sad. They don't know how to say they're struggling. And these kind of people actually struggle a whole lot because the world sees them as independent, as they are okay, but oftentimes they're struggling with things, and these kind of people often struggle alone. They often go through things alone. And this is why I always say check up on your strong friends. Those ones that seem to have it all together, they don't always have it together. Now, the question is, how do they become this person? It's possible that when they were being brought up, they had parents who were emotionally unavailable or dismissive of their emotions. So it's possible that this person grew up in a family where parents had money, there was money, but the parents were never emotionally available. They could never sit with their children to have conversations. Or whenever this child or children try to come to them and say, Mommy, this was happening, you hear things like, why are you crying? Because somebody said that to you. Instead of you to go and punch the person, instead of you to fight for yourself. This kind of advice, it sounds good, but it can be very detrimental to how that child grows up into an adult, because now this person has been told all her life, all his life, that, listen, why are you crying? Because you're sad. No, you fight. You don't cry. Crying is for weak people. I hear this with male children. Their parents saying, why are you crying? You're a man. And I'm like, so because he's a man, his emotions die? That's very dangerous. And this is why we have adults with the dismissive avoidant attachment. Okay? Value independence. Emotionally distant. They don't value relationships. They just believe that I can dismiss you at any point in time. You offend me, I cut you off. It doesn't cost them anything to cut you off. Can you see me explaining it? It's not really the best. At times we look at them and we think it's a good thing, but it's not so great. Now the fourth and final style of attachment is a fearful, avoidant, disorganized attachment. Now, this is very similar to the dismissive avoidant attachment. The only difference is that one was dismissive, this one is fearful. So conflicted emotions about relationships. They desire intimacy, but they are afraid of intimacy. So they want to get close, but that if I get close, they'll take me for granted. They may struggle with their self-worth and trusting others. So trust is an issue here. That is why they want intimacy, but they are scared of it, because they're like, human beings are fickle. You give them their heart, they begin to misbehave. Now the question is, how did they become this person? They are often linked with experiences of trauma, abuse, or unpredictable caregiving. So it's possible that this person trusted an uncle growing up, and that uncle sexually abused her or him. Okay, because it happens both ways. It's possible that they trusted someone with money and the person just, really betrayed them. It could be anything from childhood, but oftentimes it works with your upbringing. So your very close family, those who played a role in bringing you up. Now, that is why you find that this person really wants love, but they are afraid because the kind and type of love that they have been shown over time has been deceitful love. It hasn't been genuine, it hasn't been true. And then they are struggling to really trust people because in the past they've seen people say things, look amazing, and then act in the other direction. So you'll find these people looking at you and saying, listen, talk is cheap. I want to believe what you're doing. I want to see for how long you're going to keep up this act. You know, you hear people like that. I said, let's see how long you can keep acting for. We have these people. Now, it's important to note that these attachment styles are not fixed. They can evolve over time based on, you know, your life experiences and your personal growth. So it's possible that you grew up as someone who is secure. Your parents did amazing, but you dated someone who betrayed your trust, and then you find yourself in this person who is an anxious, preoccupied person because of distrust. Or it's possible that you grew up secure, and then unfortunately sometime in your life you were raped, and then you become this person who is fearful, avoidant. You are scared. You want intimacy, but you're scared. Or it could be that you're scared of even sex anymore because of what you have experienced in your past life. Now, she must understand that therapy, self-reflection are some of the things that you can do to get help. But whatever you do, don't keep quiet, especially when you are in number 2, 3, or 4, where you know that it is affecting your relationships with people, with friends, with family, even romantic relationships. Because you must understand that no one is an island. We all need friends. We all need companionship. So it's important that you form relationships that are secure, that help you to become a better version of yourself. Like I said, they are not fixed. We change as we grow, as things happen to us in life. But whatever you do, don't keep quiet or act like this thing is just in your head. If you think you can relate to any of these things, if this rings a bell, you know someone who is like this, please, please, please help them to seek help from a mental health professional. Get help. Seek help. Pray. As you pray, balance it with physical strategies. Okay, if you have a pastor that you can trust who is a professional in things like this, please speak to him, speak to her. If you have parents who can help you, please speak up. But whatever it is, I need you to understand that we just don't become this person. Our childhood plays a very huge role in who we become as an adult. And this is why it's important that as parents, if you're a parent watching this, please pay attention to the emotions of your children. It's not just about giving them money, sending them to the best schools. Be an emotionally present parent. I understand that times are hard, the world is as it is, but you see, let's not do things that money cannot fix in the end. Emotional activation, emotional presence between parents and children is so important. Let's prioritize this so that at the end of the day, we can really enjoy beautiful relationships as adults. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you at my next one. Bye-bye.